Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Cubs Line Podcast. I'm Ryan Dunleavy,
And I'm Ron Zelinsky.
and tomorrow is opening day. And welcome to our season preview. We're beyond excited for the 2026 Chicago Cubs season. Very high expectations for this team. They made a lot of big moves in the offseason. Today, we're going to give you the full breakdown of this 2026 season, our thoughts and expectations. Ryan, I don't know about you, but I'm so pumped for this season. First full season of the Cubs Line Podcast. They bring in Bregman, Cabrera, all this talent, and after losing barely to the Brewers last year, I mean, that's got to hurt for these returners, and I know they're going to come back hungry with these new additions, and I'm feeling great about this season.
Yeah, like you said, first full season of the podcast. Last year we started June 1st. That was when the Cubs were leading the division and looking like a wagon. And then obviously, they fell off. But to be able to, follow the team, cover the team during their playoff run last year, coming so close to an appearance with the Dodgers. As you said, many big moves this offseason. I'm ready for some baseball tomorrow. Let's go.
Yeah, so am I. So let's get right into it here. Don't want to waste any time. So the Cubs announced their full roster today, so we're going to do a little breakdown of that as well. And we made our predictions on Monday of who we thought was going to make this roster. I was right, unfortunately, with Scott Kingery and Dylan Carlson. We both figured Carlson would make this ball club. That last infield spot was up in the air, but Scott Kingery ended up making it after an up and down spring. So let's get right into it. So the Cubs ended up taking three catchers technically on the roster, Miguel Amaya and Carson Kelly. So before Amaya got hurt last year, him and Kelly formed a great catching duo and bounced off each other really quick. But after Amaya went down, Kelly really stepped up. He was a great right-handed bat. He hit for power. He got big hits. He had a big home run in the playoffs last year. And Miguel Amaya looked great until he got hurt last year. A lot of talent. He had great spring training, a good WBC. Um, and then after that, Moses Ballesteros. I don't think we're going to see him behind the plate really at all, but he is the Cubs' top prospect in MLB Pipeline's number 55 overall prospect. He's projected to be their DH versus right-handed pitchers. And if you guys don't know, this guy's only 5'9", but man, does he have power, and he can hit the baseball a long way. So, Ryan, what are you expecting out of this catching group?
So, you brought the point up. They took three catchers, but again, I agree with you. I don't see Mo Baller playing behind the plate really much at all. I think obviously you can throw him in there in very select situations if you need, an extra lineup spot or something, But I don't think we'll ever really see him start. Obviously, a game or two he will, but I think he's mostly going to be the DH. And we were at, I believe, his debut, in Milwaukee. Was
Oh,
that
he
it?
got called up that day. It
Or
wasn't his
yeah.
debut, but
Yeah, sorry. He debuted earlier in the year, but he got called back up that day in Milwaukee, ripped that bases clearing double. I mean, this kid's got power. I think we could definitely see him get in, a fifth, fourth, or third spot in the lineup as the season goes on. So yeah, this kid's got power. But with Amaya and Kelly, I think we'll see something similar to what we saw last year with them kind of piggybacking off each other.
yeah, and the Cubs took one first baseman, Michael Bush, the 28-year-old last year, to breakout year with 34 home runs and 90 RBIs. Last year, he was all over the lineup starting the year. About the five hole, moved up to the leadoff spot. I think we're going to see Michael Bush in the leadoff spot a lot, but big expectations this year for Michael Bush at first base.
Yeah, as you said, he's really bounced around the lineup. First pitch, the NLDS, he took one deep. I expect to see an improvement in power from him. I mean, he had a great year last year, hitting the ball out of the park, but I think we're only going to see him improve because his first year of playing every day and being, an everyday first baseman was last year, and look how good he was. Or sorry, second year of his of a full season at first, but yeah, he really took a big step from 2024 to 2025, and I expect him to take another big step here into the 2026 season. But yeah, really excited to see what he can do behind the plate. Or sorry, at in the batter's box. Sorry.
All good. And then up the middle for the Cubs at second base, Nico Horner on a contract year this year. Last year he won a Gold Glove award. Received some down ballot MVP votes. He's a great contact bat, really good defensively, as you guys know, and he's just the heart and soul of this team. He always hustles, plays hard. And then at shortstop, Dansby Swanson. Swanson, even though he's not very flashy and all at the plate, he's a big member of this team. He's the leader of this team, flawless defensively, another great bat as well. He had a really good spring training. I believe 5 home runs in spring training, a lot of RBIs. He had a really good spring, and the bat was definitely there. Big expectations for this duo up the middle of the season.
Yeah, when you get a guy in a contract, you're usually like, oh, he's got something to prove this year. I don't think Nico really has much to prove. If he just has a season like he's had every year with us, I think he's going to be completely fine and should get a deal. But you never know with this front office. But um, one of the best middle infields in the big leagues, Dansby and Nico. Obviously, like you said, Dansby's not very flashy at the plate, but he's a clubhouse leader. He's unbelievable in the field, as we saw. I mean, Game 3 against San Diego seemed like nothing could get past him. Same thing with Nico. They are unbelievable fielders. Nico is a contact hitter, Mr. Reliable. He can get the job done when he needs to. Dansby Swanson, not as much as great of a hitter, but I think he still can get the job done when you need him to. I really hope we don't see Dance being the cleanup like we did for half the year last year. But yeah, I'm really excited to see these two this year.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then at third baseman, brand new Alex Bregman. He was the Cubs' offseason target. Jed Hoyer did the job during the Bears Packers game, sparked one of the biggest comebacks in Chicago history. Locked Alex Bregman up for a 5-year, $175 million contract in free agency. Breggy had a great spring. I believe it was 3 straight games with a home run heading into Chicago. He's a World Series champion, 3-time All Star, Gold Glove winner, and he's got some big expectations. He's going to be the heart and soul of this team this year.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been saying that he's not going to be able to hit in Wrigley, but I think he's going to be able to prove them wrong. I think he's going to have a pretty good year. I'm not saying he's going to have, the best year of his career, but what we saw from Matt Shaw last year, I think he's going to be, at worst, a little bit better. But I think, honestly, he's going to have a much better year than Shaw did last year and be one of the best players on this 2026 roster.
Yeah, and then in the outfield for the Cubbies is P. Crow Armstrong coming off a breakout season where he started in center field in the All Star game, had 30 homers, 30 doubles, 30 stolen bases, and an unreal season last year. Coming off this big contract that he got, and he's locked up in Chicago. And then Ian Happ, another guy in a contract year. He's worn the Cubs jersey for a while, knows what it means to be a Cub. He's a leader on this team. He's also a great bat, switch hitter, great defensively, and he's a big leader on this team. And then newcomers, Michael Conforto. Conforto started his career with the Mets, then went to the Dodgers, had a down year last year, but besides that, has been very consistent. Conforto was a non-roster invite in about the middle of spring, but worked his way onto this team as a very solid left-handed bat. He had some great showings at the end of spring training, and I believe he's going to be the starting right fielder tomorrow. And then lastly, rounding out that outfield core is Dylan Carlson. Carlson started his career as a first-round pick with the St. Louis Cardinals, switched bat. He had a lot of value early in his career, but then kind of fell off after that. Played for the Orioles last year, had a down year. No one really gave him a chance. Cubs gave him a non-roster invite, worked his tail off all summer in Arizona with the Cubs, had a great spring training, opened a lot of eyes, and won the spot for that fourth outfield spot. And then obviously Seiya Suzuki is starting the year on the IL after he got hurt in the WBC, but you guys know what Seiya brings to the table. Big power bat. He's probably going to play a lot of right field this year without Owen Casey and Kyle Tucker, but big expectation for this outfield group. What do you expect from them, and who do you expect to stand out of this group?
I mean, I think the obvious answer for the outfield is PCA, just because we saw his defense last year, and if he gets better at the plate, I think he could be a potential MVP candidate as he was a lot of the way last year. So if he can really ramp it up at the plate and hit how he did in the WBC, I think we could see him be in the conversation for the MVP. But really excited to see Dylan Carlson and Michael Conforto. I know Conforto had an off year last year, but I read his numbers last episode, and he's productive at the plate. He's a good fielder. He's enough, right? And that's kind of what you need with a guy like Say out.
100%. And then obviously DHing for the Cubs. It seems like Moises Ballesteros is going to DH mostly, but there's going to be a lot of guys in and out. And then bench and utility for the Cubs is Scott Kingery and Matt Shaw. Matt Shaw was the starting third baseman, had a lot of expectations, didn't necessarily live up to those expectations. More of a contact bat, but made some adjustments. Played a lot of outfield and all over the field during the spring. A lot of contact there. Matt Shaw had a great spring. He's a super utility man, and I feel like he's going to have a different role this season, but I'm super excited to see what he can bring to the table for this team. And then Scott Kingery had an up and down spring. He was kind of a last minute non roster invite. He kind of, I don't want to say it, but he kind of made the team by default. There wasn't many more options. They want to give Triantos everyday reps, and they couldn't really take anyone else. I don't think this is very long term, but Kingery does make the roster. I do not think he's going to see a lot of playing time at all. Maybe pinch run here and there, but the Cubs have their infield locked up. I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of playing time out of him, but Matt Shaw, I feel like we'll see on the field a good amount.
Yeah, I kind of made the Vidal Brujan comparison last episode. I think that'll be kind of what it is for Kingery. Pinch hit here and there, get a start for a guy who's sitting, but mostly I think he'll just be on the bench cheering the guys on. And then Matt Shaw, I mean, I think he'll funnel in at right field a little bit. Obviously, play the infield some days when guys are out. He'll pinch hit a lot, honestly, in my opinion. He's going to pinch hit a good amount this year, pinch run again to add on to that. But yeah, it'll be an interesting role to see Matt Shaw this year. And I kind of said with Matt Shaw, you got to see how it plays out. You know, if you can get good value from him at the deadline, do it. If you're gonna let Nico go, which hopefully not, you know, you work him back in and play second. But yeah, it should be interesting to see Matt Shaw this year.
Yeah, and then the starting rotation for the Cubs getting the ball on opening day is Matthew Boyd. The two is Cade Horton. The three is Shota Imanaga. The four is Edward Cabrera. And the five is Jameson Taillon. So Matthew Boyd signed with the Cubs last year from the Guardians, had a great year, started game one of the playoffs, had some big playoff starts, was amazing all year. All-star, just a great season for Matthew Boyd, a guy who wants to wear the Cubs uniform, and he earned his stripes and gets the ball on opening day. Number two is Cade Horton. Didn't even make the Cubs roster last year at the start of the year. Excuse me. Then after Cade Horton is just nails. I mean, he'd come in 6 innings every game, no runs. It was unreal. He was second in voting for Rookie of the Year and has some big expectations this year. And then Shota Managa coming off a down year, he had some very rough playoff starts and some starts down the end of the road that did not look like typical Shota. So Shota looks to return to his form from his first MLB season. And then next is the hard-thrown Edward Cabrera after being required in a blockbuster deal with the Marlins this offseason, joins the rotation. And then in the five spot is Jameson Taillon. After a great postseason last year, he opened a lot of eyes, was clutch for them, coming off a rough spring, but we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, I'll ask you this question. I'll answer it first, but my question to you is like, who do you think has the most to prove in this rotation? And my vote is Shota, just because coming off of the season he had last year, he was injured for a bit, and then when he came back, he was, you know, pretty shaky. Gave up a lot of fly balls, and those ended up being homers. And then obviously game two of the NLDS really opens my eye when Seiya hits that bomb to make it 3-0 in the first inning, where you know, a game that you need, and then he gave up that 3-run shot to Vaughn. I think we all knew the game was over when he hit that. But for me, my opinion, most to prove this season is Shota on the rotation.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and give a different answer than you, but I would go Shota as well. I'm gonna go Jameson Taillon. I mean, he had a great year last year, and then he had a very rough spring, and he needs to prove himself in order to not get replaced when Justin Steele comes back to the rotation. So I'm gonna go JMO.
Yeah, I like that.
And then next we'll talk about the bullpen. Um, so long relievers are Ben Brown and Colin Ray, and then Hunter Harvey, Phil Matten, Holby Milner, Caleb Thielbar, Jacob Webb, and closer Daniel Palencia. Rye, who sticks out to you in that bullpen?
I mean, the obvious answer, Daniel Palencia coming off the WBC win and how he, you know, kind of opened eyes last year. But I think Phil Matten coming in this year, I think he's gonna, you know, he's going to have a pretty big role. Again, like I thought he could be, you know, kind of a seventh inning guy, but Caleb Thielbar too. He ended this year a little, or no, he ended the year pretty solid. He came in game three to get out of a big jam. His spring was okay, but Yeah, Caleb Thielbar, Phil Matten, and Hobie Milner, newly acquired too. I think those three guys could play a pretty solid role this year to be kind of a setup guy for Danny.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So now we'll get into our Cubs award predictions. So let's start off with Gold Glove. I'm gonna go the obvious answer, PCA. I'll give two. I'm gonna go PCA and Nico. PCA is just unreal, very fast and so skilled in center field. And Nico Horner just unreal at second base, makes every play. And then Dansby Swanson's up there as well too.
Yeah, so my two are Dansby, and then a guy who's won a couple Gold Gloves too, and always is showing out in left field, Ian Happ.
Yeah,
He's
I
just
like
gotta he's just gotta figure it out at the plate this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. So now we'll go Silver Slugger. I'm gonna go Michael Bush. I mean, the guy just rakes. I'm expecting nothing less this season. I'm excited to see how he does versus lefty lefty because he's gonna see a lot more of those matchups, and I want to see how he handles that. And I'm very excited to see what Michael Bush can do this year. And he's my pick for Silver Slugger.
Yeah, I like that pick. I had it split Silver Slugger between Alex Bregman and Michael Bush. You went Bush, so I'll talk about Bregman. Again, a lot of people say that he's not going to be able to hit at Wrigley just because of, the deep corners. But I mean, Bregman's Bregman. I think he's going to be able to have a hot year at the plate.
Yeah, and now we will go to reliever of the year. I'm gonna go Daniel Palencia. Expecting big things after seeing that WBC 5 innings, I believe 1 hit, no runs. He was lights out all of last year, just electric. The intro is amazing, and I think Danny P is going to be one of the best closers in the MLB this year.
Yeah, I really think it's hard to go away from Daniel Palencia. You see the heat he brings to the plate and the energy and the intro and everything. I think it's hard to think that he's not going to have a really good year this year.
Yeah, I agree with that. And now rookie of the year, I think this is kind of an obvious one. I'm gonna go Mo Baller. Just big expectations. I loved what I saw from him in the spring, all of last season. Just such a pure swing and such great power. I'm gonna go Mo Baller for my rookie of the year.
Yeah, I agree with you. He's going to play a huge role in this team. Really proved he can play at this level last year. I think he's going to have a really breakout season and open some eyes and kind of show his name to people who may not know him yet.
Yeah, now let's go comeback player of the year. I'm gonna go Ben Brown. He's such a great spring. I don't think anyone really expected him to make this team. He looked great this spring, especially adding that new pitch to his repertoire. So I'm very excited to see Ben Brown. He's gonna be my comeback player of the year.
Comeback player of the year. I'm gonna go Shota Imanaga. I think after again the year he had last year, people talking about how he's kind of run his course and he's too much of a fly ball pitcher now. I think he's gonna have an absolute lockdown shutdown of a year this year and be one of the best starters in the rotation.
Yeah, I like that. And now lastly, um, MVP and Cy Young. So for Cy Young, I'm gonna go Cade Horton. I just think this guy is gonna be one of the best pitchers in the league. I love what I've seen from him. He has the velocity, he has the location. He's just disgusting out there, and I love Cade Horton. I'm expecting big things. And MVP, I'm gonna go PCA. Just a true five-tool player. He can do it all. I'm expecting an over 30 home run season, some web gems as well.
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. There's really no other answer I can give to you. Cade Horton, like you said, last year was just absolutely locked down, and I'll die on this hill forever. If Cade Horton is able to go in the Milwaukee series, they win that series. And the MVP, PCA, we've seen what he can do in the field. Again, if he can just get better at the plate, better discipline, and he can put some power behind the ball, I think he's going to be in talks of the National League MVP.
Yeah. All right, so now let's get into our fun section. We're gonna do 3 hot takes each. So I'll start it off. So my first one is I'm gonna go Daniel Puente is gonna be an all-star. I just think he has what it takes to be an all-star. He just missed it last season. I just think he's so electric. He opened so many eyes in the WBC, and I think he's one of the best closers in the game. My next one is gonna be Cade Horton finishes top 3 in Cy Young voting. Um, I just think he's really legit. I think he's going to have a great year, and I think he's another guy that can make the All Star game, and I just think he's legit. Then my last hot take is I think the Cubs are going to make it to the NL Championship Series. I just think this team's legit this year. They have a complete lineup, they have a great pitching staff, and I love this team, and the sky's the limit for this team. And this is the year that the Cubs are serious about winning another World Series.
So for my first hot take, I'm gonna go the same direction as an all-star, but I'm gonna go Moises Ballesteros. Completely boiling hot take, a little biased, but I think this kid is gonna absolutely ball out this year. Baller, ball out. No pun intended, but yeah, I think this kid's gonna be unbelievable this season. And I'll say in talks of voting and maybe miss it by like a spot, but I think it's gonna be like, like Seiya last year where he should have made it if he doesn't make it. Second hot take, I'm gonna go Shota Imanaga has an under 2.2 ERA next year. I think it was in like the threes last year. So I'm gonna go under 2.2, potentially under two if he can find his 2024 ways. Then my last hot take, you said NLCS. I'm going World Series. Cubs
I
win the
love
World Series.
I love that. So now let's get into our division predictions and World Series winner. So we'll start off in the AL East. I think the Blue Jays are going to win that division coming off of a World Series appearance and getting even better, getting Dylan Cease, adding more of that lineup. I think they're a clear number one for me. And then second place, I got the Yankees. I mean, they're the Yankees. They have Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, stacked rotation. Like the Yankees are always going to be good. I think that I have them coming in second. Next is the Red Sox. I think this is a young, promising team led by Roman Anthony and Jaron Duran. The outfield got Garrett Crochet on the bump every 1 in 5 days. That's basically an automatic win. I think this is a young team that's going to open some eyes this year and finish in third and maybe sneak into a wild card spot. In fourth place, I have the Orioles. I know they made some moves this offseason by getting Pete Alonso, Taylor Ward. They added a lot to this team. I don't think they're yet at the top of this division yet, but I think they're going to have a pretty solid season, finishing above 500. And then in last place, I got the Rays. I feel like they lost a lot this offseason. I know they got Junior Caminero and some other pieces, but I feel like this is a more rebuilding year for them, trying to get some young talent and trading veterans out at the deadline. I have them finishing last in the AL East. Ryan, what do you got in the AL East?
So I'm just gonna fire off my division winners. I'll have you break down your complete standing predictions, but I'll fire off every division winner for you. So in the AL East, I am split almost between three teams. I know you had them in fourth, but this is probably the team that I think will finish third. But again, I think it's going to be a very tight race. The Baltimore Orioles, they got a lot better last year. They were playing really good ball in the second half, too, last year. I think getting Pete, getting Ward, they got a lot better. So I think they're going to be in the mix. And then the Blue Jays and Yankees rounding off that kind of three-team group because, I mean, they can do it. The Blue Jays added a lot, so and then they obviously went to the World Series. In the AL West, I have the Seattle Mariners winning the division again. I think they're going to be able to edge out Houston. In the AL Central, Cleveland Guardians. I worry about the Tigers just because I mean you saw Tarek Skubal. He kind of had to put his team on his back for the last 2 years. Last year, he pitched pretty well, but they blew what was it, 15 and a half game lead, something like that. His production began even quicker this year because of the WBC. Obviously, he threw whatever amount of pitches and left the team. But I worry about the Tigers this year, so I'm gonna go Cleveland. And the NL East, I believe one of the best off seasons um, that we've had this year. The New York Mets, they improved immensely. I think they win that division. In the NL West, do I even have to say it? I think the Dodgers win that by potentially double digits. They're scary. And then the NL Central, obviously the Chicago Cubs. I think they're going to be in a tight race with Milwaukee all year. Potentially win this by 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, I like that. So I'll kind of fire away now too. Central, I got the Tigers winning that division. I don't think that's a very strong division. That's just who I have at the top. I got Royals and Guardians in second and third. The White Sox finishing in fourth, Twins in fifth. I think that's a weaker division. I don't think anyone besides the Tigers is going to make the playoffs in that division. I think they're going to win that division, but I don't think they're going to be very good. In the AL West, I have the Mariners. I think they're just going to build off that momentum they created last year, bringing back guys like Josh Naylor, who was key in the playoffs. I mean, they have one of the best rotations in baseball with Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo, George Kirby. I mean, just a very solid rotation. I think this team is very solid, especially when you have a rotation like that. And second, I have the Astros. They're always going to be tough with guys like Yordan Alvarez, Altuve, got Hunter Brown. I know you lost guys like Valdez, but I think this is still a very solid Astros teams. They're all always good. In third place, I have the A's. I think the A's are always tough. Even if they're not good, they're hard to play against. They're a hard-nosed ball club. I think they brought in a lot of young talent, guys like Lawrence Butler, Shane Langoliers, who are starting to reach into their prime and starting to develop. And I think this is going to be a very fun team to watch this year with guys like Lawrence Butler, Jacob Wilson, Shea Langoliers. I'm probably missing a lot of guys, but this is a very skilled young team, and it kind of reminds me of the Cubs a couple years ago when they were just letting the young guys play, not a lot of expectations, and I mean they almost snuck into a playoff spot. And then fourth, I have the Rangers. I don't expect too much from them. I don't think they have the best roster. I don't think they're really legit this year. And then in last, I have the Angels. Again, rebuilding year for them. Feel bad for Mike Trout, but I don't think they're going to do anything. Now I'll flip things over to the NL East. I got the Phillies winning that division. Very close, but I think they're going to win. I mean, that team's just so legit with the rotation they have in that lineup. They're just a legit team. Then in second place, I have the Mets. They brought in guys like Luis Robert. The list goes on and on. They made a lot of big signings, and I expect a lot from that team this year, especially with a lethal bullpen and a very solid starting rotation with young guns like Jonah Tong and Nolan McLean. In third place, I have the Braves. It's not because the Braves are good. It's because the Marlins and Nationals are both pretty pathetic, in my opinion. So
Yeah, I don't know, man. The Miami Marlins. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a really solid year this year. They had a very, very strong finish last year, and I would not at all be surprised if Kyle Stowers lead those boys to like an 80 win season.
yeah, I can see that. I just think they're young. They don't have a lot of talent, in my opinion.
I get
That's my
that.
take, but and then last place the Nationals. I mean, they're going to be a team who's probably going to finish bottom three in the league, in my opinion. They just don't have much of anything really. I mean, guys like James Wood, C.J. Abrams, but when you have a guy on the mound for opening day that I've never really heard of before, I mean, that's kind of saying something. Cade Cavalli, I did my research on him, but I've never really heard about him coming into it. Then the NL Central, I mean, what do I got to say? This is the Cubs' year that they're going to beat the Brewers. They're legit. The Brewers lost guys like Freddie Peralta, Caleb Durbin, Isaac Collins. So I think this is the year the Cubs win that division, and I think it's going to be by a landslide. Next, second place, I got the Brewers. Pat Murphy, great manager, always a hard-nosed ball club. I think they're going to finish in second. Third place, I have the Reds. Very solid lineup, bringing in guys like Suarez. They have Ellie De La Cruz, Matt McClain, a lot of other solid pieces within that lineup, and a good starting rotation with Hunter Green, Andrew Abbott, etc. Fourth place, I have the Pirates. I think the Pirates aren't going to be as bad as people think. Bringing in guys like Brandon Lowe, you can name a lot of people, but I feel like the Pirates are going to be better than people think they are going to be. I don't think they're going to be playoffs, but I think they're going to be around 500 ball club. And then I think in the last place is going to be the Cardinals. I mean, I just think they suck this year. I'm going to be flat out. They kind of traded everyone. They don't have much to look forward to. NL West, I mean, Dodgers, they're the team to beat right now. I think they're going to win that division by a lot. Second place, I had the Padres. Just a very solid lineup. You got the best closer in baseball. Very solid bullpen. They were very tough to play against in the playoffs last year, and that's a very good ball club. Third place, I have the Diamondbacks. I think that's another hard-nosed team who almost snuck into the playoffs last year. They got a lot of young guys coming up. They're going to be fun to watch and open some eyes. Fourth place, I have the Giants. I know they have a lot of stars in that lineup, like Devers, very solid rotation, but I just don't see much out of them, honestly. And then last place is the Rockies. And then my World Series pick, I'm going to go the I just think this team's built for October personally. I think they have the best rotation in baseball right now. I think they're going to be aggressive at the deadline like they were last year. I'm going to go the Seattle Mariners. I'm going to go Mariners versus Dodgers, but my dark horse is the Cubs right now, and I think they have a legit chance. But just right now, I just think the Mariners are built for October with a very solid rotation and pitching staff, and one of the best closers in baseball as well.
Yeah, I mean their rotation, the list goes on and on. I mean last year every guy in the rotation could have been an ace on a lot of others ball clubs. But for my World Series prediction, I've got the Cubs over Toronto in 7.
I like that. So now we'll talk about series preview. Well, we're gonna get back to it. So tomorrow, starting off 1:20 at Wrigley, opening day. It's a holiday down in Wrigleyville. Nothing better than it. Start on the bump for the Cubbies is Matthew Boyd coming off an All-Star year last year. Just very solid. He was 14-8 with a 3.21 ERA and 79.2 innings with 154 strikeouts. The 35-year-old is coming back for another season. Opted out of Team USA, could have had the ball for that gold medal game, but wanted to start opening day for the Cubs. And then on the mound for the Nationals is Cade Cavalli. The 27-year-old is making his first opening day start last year. He was 3-1 in 10 games with a 4.25 ERA. I think the Cubs should be able to tee off him tomorrow, but we'll see how that plays out. On Saturday for the Nationals is the bum himself, Miles Michaelis. I mean, the Cubs own him every time. That's PCA's little bro. I think the Cubs are going to tee off him. Give him if you don't watch baseball or anything, bet the Cubs over Saturday. I don't care what the weather's going to be.
Mm,
Michaelis is a bum. The Cubs always hit him well. Bet the over.
yep.
Michaelis in 31 games last year was 8-11 with a 4.84 ERA and 156 and one-third innings pitch with 100 strikeouts. Then it hasn't officially been announced for the Cubs, but it's looking like it's going to be Cade Horton coming off an amazing season last year. So Horton Michaelis on Saturday. And on Sunday for the Nationals is going to be Jake Irvin. Irvin last year was 9-13 with a 5.7 ERA and 180 innings pitched. The 29-year-old had a solid spring training and is looking to have a good season this year. And then Sunday for the Cubs, looking like it's going to be Shota Imanaga. Imanaga coming off a bounce back season, might be in attendance for Sunday's game, so we'll see about that. Rye, series predictions and keys.
I don't think you understand how thrilled I am to be doing a series preview and
Oh
keys to,
my,
to win the series.
awesome.
So keys to winning the series, obviously not going to be the greatest baseball weather at Wrigley. It's never great weather in opening weekend at Wrigley, and really the first month or two. But I think tomorrow Boyd's gonna have a really good outing. You just gotta attack the Nationals pitching early. It's not really that deep, so if you can put up 4 runs tomorrow, I think you win pretty comfortably. Maybe Washington scores 1 or 2 runs. So I think the pitching's gonna have a really good day tomorrow. Saturday, same thing. Cade Horton, I think he's gonna absolutely own Michaelis on Saturday. Haven't checked the weather yet for that game, but I think the Cubs should be able to hit Michaelis really well. They always do. So I really think this is going to have to be just like score 4 or 5, let the pitching do the rest, and then Sunday Shota could have some trouble again. That's always a worry. So I think you got to attack early, and that's always kind of the key. Go up early and let your pitching win the game.
Yeah, I think you just got to tee off this weekend. So a little weather report. Tomorrow there is some rain in the forecast, not till around 2:30 ish. It's not going to be some heavy rain, so they should let the boys play. But it's going to be 65 out tomorrow at first pitch around there. So it's going to be some nice weather, honestly, for opening day in Wrigleyville. Saturday is going to be sunny, and at first pitch going to be around 45 degrees, so a little bit colder, but the sun's going to be out. And then Sunday is going to be cloudy, but it's going to be 62 at first pitch. So some nice weather, honestly, for opening day at Wrigley Field. Typically, like to see it's typically worse. I mean, it's going to snow all day in Wrigleyville next Saturday. So, I mean, enjoy what you get this weekend. So, I think you just got to tee off on this Nationals pitching. You got such a good lineup, so much power, so many superstars in this lineup. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Boyd, Horton, and Managa all weekend. I say you just got to beat the piss out of this team from first pitch to last all series. Give me a sweep.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tomorrow 65 and rainy. It's going to feel a lot chillier than that, though. You got the wind coming off the lake. So it'll be kind of how it is for us last year. It was pretty chilly at the game last year and rainy. But yeah, I agree with you. Tee off. Cubs go 3-0 with these this weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, we haven't done this one in a while. Now we're going to take a look around the MLB as there was only one game today to lead us off. It was the Yankees versus the Giants, where the Yankees won 7-0. Max Fried shoved, Trent Grisham 2-run triple, Stanton RBI single, Logan Webb got teed off on Max Fried. Great start. The Yankees start the year 1-0 after a 7-0 win on Netflix. So now it's your guys' favorite time. Yeah, what's up, Ryan?
I do want to make a point. What was that Netflix score bug? If you were
Oh,
watching the
that
game,
was terrible.
I had to like squint my eyes to look at
I
what the
couldn't.
score was.
I don't know about you, but I couldn't stand it.
That thing was terrible. Good day for the Yankees though.
Yeah. So now it's your guys' favorite. We'll play MLB Pickle. Ryan, who do you want to go with to start off?
Let's go, Kate Horton.
Cade Horton. Alrighty. USA from the USA, not in the NL. Um, go
Uh,
Judge.
oh yeah, we can go better.
On the Yankees from the USA.
Um, Grisham.
Lefty lefty. Oh, I mean, Freeze the lefty. He pitched today.
Yeah,
Freed. Not Max Freed.
pitcher or no?
It won't show me because it's a Zoom meeting. No, not a starting pitcher.
Okay.
Ben Rice isn't a lefty lefty.
No, it's
Let's
Austin Wells is from the U.S. and I know
yeah,
I,
he
I,
is.
I believe, but
He's a
he's
lefty
not.
righty.
Yeah,
I'll go Bednar just to see if it's a bullpen guy. I'll try.
yeah. I forgot. I forgot you said.
Not a reliever.
Okay, so
Oh, so not it can't.
Bell
So
or
first base
Bellinger.
and Belly. That's a good call. And that is your Immaculate Grid Player of the Day, Cody Bellinger. So now we'll do Immaculate Grid. So A's in St. Louis, Mark McGuire.
Yankees, Cardinals, Goldschmidt.
Goldie. Love that. And then Cardinals and Reds. Skip that one for now.
Yeah,
A's and O's and Braves, Matt Olson. Yankees in Atlanta, Max Fried.
there we go. I knew there was an obvious one.
Rockies and A's. Skip that one for now. Yankees and Rockies, Ryan McMahon. And then Rockies and Reds. There's got to be one. Ooh. Cincinnati and Braves. I feel like we could get someone for that. You got any in mind?
I don't, but
Here, I'll see who the most common answers were. Don't want to keep you guys here all day. So it was Deion Sanders for Braves and Reds, Scott Bowen for Cardinals and Reds, Dante Bichette for Reds and Rockies, and then A's and Rockies with Jason Giambi. So that was a tough one today, I will say. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to tune into our post game show tomorrow. Follow our Instagram at Cubsline Podcast for in-game updates and some extra content. Thank you guys for tuning in today's episode. Go Cubs, go as always. Can't wait to be back with you guys tomorrow and super excited for this 2026 season. Signing off, Ryan Dunleavy.
Ron Zunski.
See you guys in the next episode.